I don't even have our intro ready to go.
Light it up, take a puff, let the good times roll. Kevin and Kerr got a story to unfold. Talking cigars, yeah, we know what's right. From the classics to the bold, it's Monday night. Slow, everything's right. Legends and makers, they stop on by, sharing the secrets, the craft, the why. From the rollers to the blenders, they tell their tales. Pair it up with spirits, let the smoothness sail. Wrapper, binder, alright. Flavor notes hit just right. Retro hail, take it slow on the iTap That Cigar Show. I tap that, you know I would. Great cigars, great talk, yeah, it's all good. From the lounge to the show, let's spark up the night. Cigar talk, burn slow, everything's right. Toast it, take that draw. Kick back, relax, break out the humidor. If you love cigars, well now you know. It's the iTap That Cigar Show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the iTap That Cigar Show. I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop, coming to you live from the studio. It's been so long. I almost forgot. Do I have a sponsor for the studio? I don't think I do. Joining me as always, Kerr, Viajante, Stogie Road Cigars. Been a hot minute since I heard that intro.
I know, right?
Got me out of my bad mood a little bit, you know.
No, it's
yeah. I know we were both a 10-minute bitch fest.
Oh my God.
Before the show started. So
yeah, Arthur's he's setting up right now, but
all right, of course. Well,
who is the sponsor? You know what? You're sponsored currently by Trash Panda Cigars.
Trash Panda Cigars.
I'm currently sponsored by Stogie Road Cigars and the Viajante Stogie Road Cigar Shop.
Let's grab a cigar and grab our CigarMedics humidimeters.
Yeah. God almighty, that freaking evidence. The CigarMedics humidimeter. You'll always know when to hold them and always know when to smoke them. Kevin, what you smoking tonight? And what's your CigarMedics humidimeter?
I'm not sure what I'm smoking.
A lie detector test. This is the truth. The truth teller.
I tell you, this thing has been a game changer for me with these Trash Panda cigars, trying to gauge the humidity level. So 62%. I like that. And
I'm at 64.
Oh, right on. And I'll have to ask our guest when he joins on. I am smoking a cigar from Segovias De Esteli, Art Garcia, who will be chatting with us tonight. This has just got like a blue band on it, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I wish I had some of his stuff.
I had to dig deep to find this one. Oh,
I am smoking the Maduro of the Big Tony Deconstructed. What I'm smoking.
Oh, right on.
For my dad. I figured I need some guidance. I'm having one of those
patience.
days. I need patience, so I'm going to.
Yeah, it was one of those days. One of those days in December, I dread every single year, and I've dreaded it for like the last 5 or 6 years. And it's because about this time each year, I get a box about this size, Kerr. Well, not about this size. I get a box. And this box cost me $5,000 every December forever, because these have my bleed tips in there from the machine shop. So I place an order every October, trying to guess how many I'm going to sell for the following year. They're usually ready about this time December, and it's always about $5,000. And it's a hard pill to swallow for such a small box.
So as I was saying, I needed to vent. I need some patience. I've got a big Tony, and I got some Florida straight bourbon from St. Augustine's distillery.
Oh, right on. I got my usual Bacardi and Diet Coke.
So before our guest comes on, Kevin, I know you need to get this out of your system.
There has been some breaking news. Breaking news today out of the University of Michigan. I actually just Kerr, did you read it or can you Google it? Did the AD get fired today too? I heard the AD got fired.
Did Michigan. You really?
Yeah, yeah. I heard they shit canned the director. So yeah, Sharon Moore.
It's all about how much you know. If you know, oh, he's in custody too.
I know. No, I think is he in custody just for like as in? I mean,
he wasn't. He got arrested.
Yeah, but we really don't know. I mean, you know, because I don't think the police report's been made public yet. Did he threaten the girl?
No, I don't know. Obviously, listen, here's the deal.
Yeah.
You can either join in, which you will since you're a fucking Buckeye, and join in all of the bullshit that's going on. So in the world of Ohio, he got the girl pregnant. When he got fired, he went over to her house and was threatening to kill her and kill himself. And then the cops came and arrested him. That's the story straight out of the Ohio State University.
Well, so my timeline was he got arrested, and then like 35 minutes later is when he got fired. So I'm reading a different timeline of he got fired after he got arrested.
No,
but
yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. There's a whole shitload of stories.
Yeah, we just gotta wait until it comes out.
I mean, you don't know what's going on. We don't.
But just
nothing about the athletic director. They I haven't read. It says.
Oh, okay. It's one of them Facebook. You know, you're scrolling through. You know, you never know what's real, what's not. You know, and that's just what popped up. You know, and it was the AD was fired. So
it didn't happen to be on the same page as like Bigfoot, Sasquatch running through the forest.
Yeah.
Cigar.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, big shakeups. I know one player was already released from his letter of intent. He pulled out this afternoon, and I forget who it was. And we'll see. We'll see what happens now.
All the conspiracy theories, the covering up from the other scandal to they waited to fire him so everybody could they'd sign their letter of intent for the recruitment. They didn't want to fire him too early, blah blah blah. I mean, listen,
yeah. At the end of the day, there's always a pretty little white blonde girl at the heart of all of life's problems. I tell you, shit, a pretty little blonde white girl fucked my life up for a couple of years. So I feel you, Sharon, so, but
I plead the fifth, man, but I'm not saying I understand because I'm empathizing. I'm saying I understand.
Just like the Chris Rock thing, I don't condone it, but I understand. So yeah,
I'll shake the shit out of it.
Yeah, I know, I'll shake the shit out of her. Yeah, I'm not saying I condone it. I'm just saying I understand.
Yeah, no. Listen, man, it's who knows, man. It sucks. I mean, it's another huge black eye for the freaking the Michigan Wolverine program. I mean, the poor guy. I'd say the poor guy. If I say that, I'll be freaking vilified.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry, his poor wife and kids and his whole family. I mean, the guy was making $5.5 million a year. He had a 5-year contract. You know, that's just like throwing it right out the fucking window.
Yeah, exactly. Then you had Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles bounced from Penn State already.
Well, I mean, you know, not unless he was going to step up and be a head coach. He's like, no, I'm going to go. I'll go to Tennessee. Keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard where one of the Ohio State former quarterbacks might be coming in to replace to do the offensive coordinator. So is at the top of the list. So yeah, name escaping me offhand. So we got a lot of former Buckeyes that went to the NFL, did their career, and then come back. You know, Hartline. You know, was, you know, Buckeyes 4 years, Dolphins for 6 or 7, and then came back home. So
what about Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement to sign with the Colts?
I didn't hear that. When did that happen?
Just recently, because their
really?
Yeah, their quarterback's out for the season. He blew out his Achilles.
Oh wow!
So everybody's all up in arms because they didn't call freaking Colin Kaepernick. You know. So there's that whole every time there's a vacancy open, right? Anytime something like this shit happens, they're like, well, gosh, we need something. He has his one moment every fucking year.
Yeah. Hey, is there a guy that hasn't thrown a ball in 10 years that we could call? Oh, there's Kaepernick.
Yeah,
ideal.
And then you have Cam Newton getting involved that he's insulted, and I was like, dude. You really brought a lot to the NFL, and he was an exceptional athlete and impressive specimen. But his last several years were horrible. When he was still in playable shape, you know, dude, just wear your fucking hats and just enjoy life. And
wear your hats, enjoy your cigars and your bourbon, and at least Phillip Rivers, he's not too far removed. You know, I can only imagine. You know, I can only imagine he's still in great shape, you know, so
I don't know. He's 44. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's a good quarterback. You know, he's solid. He's probably someone who'd come in, learn the system quickly, and also, you know, get on with these. For you know, these guys, it is a very, very, very important part of the year. Been handed a pretty big blow with that quarterback getting injured. They're going to bring someone into the program who's going to help them get into the playoffs and get to the next level. I don't think they're going to sit there and freaking make selections based off of whatever reasons why people are think they're making selections, man. You got to get someone who's going to come in, knows the system, understands the system, can adapt quickly, and get the ball to your receivers.
And can mentor, you know, they've got some third stringers. To help them out, you know, like, hey, you know, it's, you know, I mean, that's what, what's his name's doing, for the Jets now, you know, the, our favorite Aaron Rodgers, you know, he's, you know,
dude, you're like a year behind. Not the Steelers.
I know the Steelers.
2025, Kev. I'm just saying.
I know, but because he knows he's only got another year or two left, and he's I mean they're talking about him as like, man, he has been a great mentor to all those guys, and I think Phillip Rivers will do a good job. Come in, you know, he's had twice the career that fucking Cam Newton had, or at least lengthwise.
But also everything. I mean, honestly, the guys is to your point. There is an invaluable asset that is some of these folks, some of these team members, they have. And that invaluable asset is being a mentor. And out of all the positions that when you think of the roles of the positions, the role of the position of quarterback really is one that you can make exponential advancements if you have a really good mentor helping you when you are young and early in your career. And if you know, if you have someone and you're like, okay, this person's at this level, this person's at this level, just slightly below, this person's a shitty mentor and is just going to be more fucking problem than they are good. This person's going to be a great mentor. You're not only plugging somebody in who's going to help you and make your plays and help your team at that moment, you're also allowing them to come in and impact your team in the future moving forward with what influence they can have on their players, especially your young quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. He's mentored by one of the GOATs, so
100%. I mean, and that's the thing. It's it's more than just athleticism, and listen, Philip Rivers ain't gonna be taking the freaking Colts to the Super Bowl. Newsflash, okay? Just let you know that he's not going to. If they get them into the playoffs and get them a victory or two in the playoffs, and freaking get some some confidence under the team's belt, whatever, that's going to be a huge benefit. If you get your young quarterbacks can get some playing time in there, huge benefit. I don't know. I've always liked Philip Rivers. I do.
Yeah, I'm not one way or the other. I mean, I don't like him, dislike him. He's just always seemed like a cool guy. But
very good quarterback, pretty steady, pretty stable. He was brought in.
Where did he come out of?
Wow, sweet Jesus! I knew you were gonna ask me that. He was part of that whole bullshit with Eli Manning, right? That whole, Eli Manning was drafted by originally. He was drafted by the
Rams, wasn't it? Or Chargers.
And then I think the Giants drafted Philip Rivers and they just swapped him, like this big freaking pissing match.
Yeah.
Right?
Matt, we had a pup and ponder on Monday, and then we've got Art Garcia from Segovias De Esteli. He's going to come on and chat with us tonight. So
Philip Rivers went to North Carolina State University.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, he's a grandparent. That's funny or whatever he fucking says. But yeah, I mean, he's a solid player, good quarterback, and they say, but he 16 years in the NFL. God dang.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had a career. Who all did he play for?
He played for the Chargers, and I just looked here. He actually played for the Colts back in 2020.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I did not know that. I knew that he was with the Chargers for a while, and remember, he came in and he replaced Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Because they thought Bledsoe had that bad shoulder injury. They thought his career was done because Bledsoe, they were getting ready to dump him. And he had a fantastic year. And then he hurt his shoulder, and they were like, man, he needs major shoulder surgery. And lo and behold, he went to freaking New Orleans and just won a Super Bowl. And
Matt's freaking out.
Yeah. So, yeah, he played 2020. He played for the Chargers. For the Colts in 2020. The rest of the time he's with the Chargers.
Well, yeah, I thought he was on a couple different teams, but a few more. But yeah. So it makes sense to bring him back. He knows the. I know it's been a long time. A few years. 5 years, but
there's some
at least
there.
Yeah, he knows the organization, knows the ins and outs. So, but yeah, when you play that long for any, as a quarterback for any team, I'm sure it's not a difficult move to slide in for any team and learn anything.
No, I mean it's a lot of these guys, these quarterbacks, man, even at that level, they're they all have hold on for a second. They all have great arms. Like a buddy of mine I worked with years ago at Enterprise Rent a Car, played football for a bit at Maryland. And I played with a guy who played at Maryland. And they were down there and his roommate was Neil O'Donnell. I don't know if you remember him. He played for
No.
And boy, oh boy, he's like one of those guys, Neil O'Donnell sucks. My buddy's like, dude, that guy would throw a ball, it would go through your chest. You know, they all have great arms. They're all very talented, great athletes, great arms. It's all it's all up here, man. It's all their ability to freaking to you got to figure you're dropping back. You have some largest, fastest, angriest men who want to kill you. You're reading the field, and those receivers are running routes and are being covered by dudes that are super fast. And you have check, multiple checks of who you're going to. And you got to have the ability to feel the pressure on knowing when to step up, step to the side, run out. I tell you, that's a gig, man. When you got a really good quarterback, I think there's a lot of that is just a little bit more supernatural, type
and
of
that arm never goes away as old as they get. I mean, I've seen, like, I remember when Dan Marino got inducted into the Hall of Fame, threw a ball out in the crowd to Mark Clayton, Mark Duper somewhat, but it was a fucking laser. And he'd been out for 20 years or whatever it was at that point. You see all these old, Joe Montana, like all these old guys be just fucking around, like in a commercial or just behind the scenes doing something, and then like lob one like 50, 60 yards and have it on a string, and it's just.
I watched this clip on open, when they throw the ball. They have the guests come and throw the opener, the ball in the baseball game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like they had who the worst was. And they said who threw the fastest, right? And they're like, oh, they showed like I think Cam Newton and blah blah blah, and and they showed Nolan Ryan throwing like 80 some miles an hour, and they kept going down through. And I'm looking at this going, they're all good athletes. They're all this. And Randy Johnson was on their two big units several years after he retired.
Yeah.
Like Nolan Ryan did it at 68. Like he was 68 years old and throwing. He's like the third fastest or fourth fastest pitch, the clocked, and the opening pitch ceremony. And I'm like, the guys are this big, dumpy old man, and just freaking cranks a freaking blast.
Could you imagine breaking into the house of the big unit there, or any of those guys, and like by the nightstand there's like just a basket of baseballs. You're like, oh, you're not armed. I'm not. I'm Nolan Ryan. I'm 75 years old. I will throw this baseball right through your eye. And
the deadly accuracy that those guys have is beyond my whole comprehension. It is literally. Art said he's trying to log in. Is there any weird thing that needs to be known outside of?
If he's on an Apple device, he needs to copy that link and paste it into Safari. He can't just click on it. If he's on an Android device, he needs to open that link in Chrome.
So no matter what, you got to open up in Chrome.
Well, Chrome or Safari if he's on an Apple device.
Really? No. I thought when I tried to open it up in Apple and Safari, it was all jacked up. It wouldn't do it. I had to open up Chrome.
Oh, did they change it? Because that used to be my old logon instructions for all the guests. I'll have to double check that and make sure that. I
remember that time I tried to get on my phone when my freaking computer died. Anyway, but yeah, their accuracy of those pitches, the speed of the accuracy is just it's scary. There he is.
What up, my friends? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, guy can roll a cigar. Can't figure out how to click on a link. No,
the internet's not what you think over here, brother.
That's right. You're in Esteli, right?
I'm at the factory inside. There's my human right behind me.
Kevin, that's not a that's not a green screen behind him.
Yeah, he's really in Miami, so
that's a lot of lovely cigars, man. How's that grab you, Kev?
You guys say hi to Charlie back there.
Hey, Charlie. So that would get you. that'll get you canceled here in the States. Having it's cultural appropriation, I believe. I don't know what someone would call it. They'd figure out a way. We're not allowed to have Indians anymore, and
What? Where?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, everywhere. We're not even allowed to call them Indians. Art. It's Native Americans. You're going to get me canceled. But yeah.
Oh man, well, those are my brothers right there, man. They guard my tobacco.
That's it. Hey, what am I smoking? Art? I have got one of your cigars, and it's got a little blue band on the foot. What am I smoking?
Oh, that's the. It looks like that's the Robusto Habano.
Oh, okay.
Was it a bigger? I can't tell from over here.
Yeah, it was a. Yeah. I would say it's a Robusto.
Yep. Robusto Habano, brother. Oh,
so
Kerr,
Art just
got you some cigars, man.
Yeah.
Look what I got: $70 per Toro Maduro.
Oh, man. We'll have to
It's a good
connect,
cigar.
brother. We'll have to connect. I was hoping that I could find, or at least get you in some of these shops down here in South Carolina.
Oh man, yeah, I don't have any shops over there. Not yet. I will soon.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll
So we got
connect.
some cool bags that we're gonna be releasing next year.
Oh,
Very
right on. Do you have any sales? Do you have any? Are you using brokers? How are you getting into the cigar shops, or it's just you, one shop at a time?
No. We have a few brokers out in the States. We do our distribution through Ilusion now.
Okay.
We've been with Howler now for a bit, for all this year, and that's how we're doing our sales right now. And
Right. So
we have a
for
few brokers.
So for people that may not be aware of Art Garcia, Tabacalera Segovias De Esteli, give us a rundown a little bit about your brand, your factory, and to let people know like what you're about.
All right. Well, let me spark my cigar real quick. Let me get motivated.
Yeah.
We definitely need some inspiration, Art. You light up your inspiration. And
That's it.
yes.
How many is that for you today?
This is my third cigar.
Third.
We've been making new blends today in the morning. So right now we're on vacation. So all my employees are on vacation now, Christmas vacation. But I only got a few employees that work with me in administration here at the office. And right now we're packaging about 40,000 cigars that I sold. So they're being shipped out next week. So I got to hurry up and make it happen before the 20th. Otherwise, I'm fucked till next year. Right? And so that's why we're here. There you go.
And I take it the guy that normally fills your lighters, he's on vacation too?
No, I forgot my fluid. Let me call my security guard. Santiago! Venga!
Oh my God. So on the 20th, everything shuts down till when?
Yeah. Once the government goes on vacation, they're done, bro. They don't work no more. So you have to wait till next year. Come here, Santiago. Atrás de mí. Saluda a la cámara ahí.
Buenas noches.
This is my head of security here at the factory.
Oh, right. How many cigars does he get a day? Is he like the rollers? He gets 2?
¿Cuántos puros te fumas a la noche cuando estás aquí trabajando?
De 3 a 4 puros.
3 to 4 cigars a night.
Oh man, that's a gig right there.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said, dude, you have an easy job, bro.
Culpa de él.
It's my fault. I tell him how to smoke. I said, dude, all you do is sit, eat, watch videos, Netflix, YouTube, and smoke cigars. Well, shit, I want to have your job.
Yeah, God.
That's a great job.
El gas.
El gas, por favor. Y ahorita me sirve un cafecito, por favor. Gracias. Sí, yo creo que ahí está. So, yeah, that's my head of security right there, bro. He's been with me 2 years now.
And he gets you your coffee too, right?
Yeah, he gives my coffee. So right now I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 7 people working in my packaging room right now, packing cigars. So going back to the factory, right? Who we are, what we do. I've been in this game now over 10 years. I started back I started since 2012, but we made it official in 2015 when I did my first trade show in New Orleans with IPCPR. You know, I was a newbie. I didn't know what I was doing, and I remember I just bought me a brand new Tahoe, and it was me and a few friends from Esteli. I said, dude, let's go do the trade show. We got in the car, drove from California all the way down to New Orleans, bro. It took us almost 5 days to get there. That was a crazy drive. I will never do it again.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a hell of a drive right
That's a road
there.
trip. That's a lot of
Yeah.
cigars.
So
That's all.
when I started in 2015, that's when Foundation released their company. Steve Saka released their company. So it was me, Steve, and then it was also Hiram and Solomon started their company, released their company, and it was also the beginning of Esteban Carrera's Craig. So we were like the, you know, now those guys have been having a lot of success, right? Because they've been in a good road. But fortunately, in 2019, we got hit with the lawsuit, so that kind of put me behind a few years. Splenda, un poquito de cremora. And so ever since then, you know, we said we got to get it cracking over here. You know, we got to make some magic happen. Oh,
Do
I love
you
these
feel like you've
roads.
made some traction since that lawsuit, since 2019? Do you feel like your
Oh yeah,
2026 is going to be that year where
and
your traction is going to start, making some headway?
you know, I was just talking about this with some friends from the industry, including with Skip. At the end of the day, I did what I did to back up all the boutique cigar brands, bro. To let these big monsters, to let them know that we're not fucking around and we're not going to tolerate bullying. You know what I mean? So when people
Mm-hmm.
call me crazy, you know, I had partners with me who left me. I had you know, all these people who just were very negative about me. I said, dude, I'm defending my name back then. Back then, my name was Antigua Esteli. I'm defending my name, and you know, I'm trademark in Europe. I'm trademark in the U.S. I'm trademark in Mexico. I said I did everything right. If the U.S. trademark didn't see any conflict of interest with the other trademark, they wouldn't give it to me if there was a conflict of interest. But I ended up getting it. They gave it to me with no problem. So at the end of the day, it was kind of like David versus Goliath. You know what I mean? That type of deal. And a lot of lessons were learned. It taught me a lot from this industry and what to do and what not to do. I had a lot of good people back me up and were calling me every day to make sure I was good. But at the end of the day, we settle and we part ways. And ever since then, we haven't had any problems. But that put me
Yeah.
behind, you know,
Yeah.
especially me being a small guy. I remember I had a great sales. I had a great sales in 2019 with Antigua, and we kicked off the right way. And most of my sales went to this lawsuit, you know, over
Yeah.
$600,000.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
It is.
it definitely it definitely sucks, and we hear about that, you know, all the time, you know, in this industry, and sometimes it's just a misunderstanding. It's
Yeah.
and I've seen it handled really well by some companies, you know, and
Right.
they just like, you know, hey, it's, you know, no harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different, you know. Sometimes they let it go. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's a a newer manufacturer, and they just don't know, and they're like, oh crap, that's my bad,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like I said, when you get trademarked and the trademark office accepts your trademark, because that all goes through a lawyer, you know, they do
Exactly.
all of this work,
You got research,
you know.
yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
they do all this research, and but yeah, and some people just don't, you know. You hear about it, they come out with a cigar brand, and they start
Yeah.
producing it, and then I say, I'm like, oh god, that name was taken a long time. Like that cigar's still on the market, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah.
and you just wonder, it's like, how did you not go, you know, to the trademark office and do a basic word search?
That's
You
right.
know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, your situation.
know-
I mean, yeah, your situation is
Yeah.
completely different. I mean, there was no confusion in the, you know, in
Exactly.
the cigar industry. Like that was never going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So big lesson learned. I became more mature in the business. I grew more. I had great people behind me, and you know, it was a great experience, bro. I think failure is success turned inside out. So that taught me a lot of things, right? So um, it was great. It was a great feeling. I'm telling you, man, it was a great feeling, especially when I got the lawsuit. When they hand over the papers, I was in my house, and the next day I was leaving to Europe for Intertobac.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
We were seeing each other with our eye to eye, and they were, they were turning around and stop looking at me. And I'm mad dog,
Yeah.
and that was funny, man. That was a great experience. So thanks to that, our company got hold back, and so basically, I had to turn around and say, hey, wait a minute. Okay, what's next? What am I going to do next? And so I had to do a lot of meditation, a lot of thinking, a lot of cigar smoking. And in 2020, right after our settlement, I said, you know what? I'm going to sell everything I got in Cali except my rental homes. I'm going to sell everything I got, my primary home. If I have to sell my cars, I'll sell my cars. And I said, and I'm going to move to Nicaragua. And that's when the fun started. Because,
Now, were you born in
Yeah.
Nicaragua?
No, man, I have no affiliation with the Nicaragua. I'm born and raised in Cali, bro.
Okay.
Mexican American, but I have Cuban heritage behind me and European heritage behind me.
Mhm.
Cuban to my great grandfather on my father's side. He was born in Pinar del Rio. He's a Garcia from Pinar del Rio, and so
Yeah, go
great,
figure.
great.
Yeah.
That's right. So great grandfather came from Cuba, left Cuba for some bullshit. They stole some land from him or whatever. And then he had two options: go to Dominican Republic or go to Puerto Rico. So he took Puerto Rico and he went to go live in San Juan del Sur. That's Nicaragua. Viejo San Juan, that's Puerto Rico. I'm confused in
Mhm.
San Juan del Sur. So Viejo San Juan. So when my great grandparents left, my great grandmother was pregnant for my grandfather, and so they landed in Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, he was raised till he was 15, and then after that, he wanted to enlist himself in the U.S. Army. He wanted to become an American because back then it was really easy. If you joined the U.S. Army, you'll be a citizen.
Yeah.
That's kind of type
Yeah.
of deal back then,
Yep.
And so he did that, and he joined the Army, and then he joined the Marines, and he was stationed in Camp Pendleton in San Diego, Oceanside. And then when he was doing the border run to go party with his friends in Mexico, which is down the street, he met my grandmother at a restaurant. And then
Wow.
that's where my Mexican side of the family was born.
Wow.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on. And so when you decided to move down to Nicaragua, at that point did you own a factory? Were you working with somebody? I mean, where were you?
Well, back then I remember I was making cigars with some guy named Barreda, Oscar Barreda. He owns a cigar factory called the Barreda Cigars. So before it became Barreda, he was called Diamond Cigars. And Oscar, his story is real cool. His grandfather was Don Chico, and he was one of the pioneers growing tobacco here in Nicaragua. And so I hooked up with him, and we started making Antiguas Chilis at his factory. And I remember I hired my crew. I hired a production manager, and I hired four couples. And because he didn't have any couples back then, and he was barely starting the business, he had a huge warehouse and basically was learning what to do as he goes. I started working right away, and so he started managing that, and so we started making Antigua Esteli, bro, back then, 2017, 18, 19.
And then that's where you live permanently now, right? That you said,
Yep, yep. That's where I live for the last 5 years now, brother.
And it's
When-
still
when-
that.
when you-
It's still that factory. You're still working in making those new cigars within that
No,
factory.
we stopped work. No. We separated from them in 2021.
Okay, and that's when you opened up
Yeah.
your own factory.
Yep. When we started our own company, it was back in 2021, and we said goodbye. We shook hands, and we said, "Hey, man, see you at the top," and that's what happened.
Yeah. Now, how big is your factory now? Like, how many people do you employ? Like, what's your, what are you producing a year?
Well, it's a lot bigger than the last one I showed you. I don't know if you guys seen it before. So
Yeah,
back
I
then,
remember. I remember.
back then, I even had to use my office as a humidor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to convert it because I had an AC in there, so I sealed the walls and the rooftop, the ceiling with plastic, and I packed it up with cigars, but I didn't have a choice. I didn't fit. Now, in there, I got 500,000 cigars,
Wow.
and I could fit at least 2 million if I wanted to.
Really?
Man, that's
Gosh, dang.
nuts. Now, I know we've talked a couple times.
Wait,
You've
wait,
given
Kevin,
me some.
Kevin, hold on
Yeah.
for a second. All right, tell
Yeah.
that guy behind you, one of those
That's my
boxes.
production manager.
Yeah, tell
That's our tobacco guy, my production manager.
Tell
Yeah.
him, tell him one of those boxes needs to come to South Carolina.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'll let him know.
Go ahead, Kevin. I'm
Oh, this is a
sorry.
great cigar,
Um,
guy. I wish you guys could
I don't know where I was going. What did I?
I know. I thought I stole your thunder, man. I apologize.
I know. I can't remember where I was.
Don't you hate when that happens?
I know.
I do. It's fucking getting old.
It's that I interrupted him, Art. I normally don't do that to Kevin, but
I normally have
saw
pieces
an
of paper to
opportunity
write to jot down my notes, and I completely spaced.
Well, while you're thinking about that, Kevin, Art, you keep
Yeah.
commenting on how great that cigar is. Tell us about the cigar you're smoking.
Man, I'm just, I enjoy my cigars, bro. So this is a semi-box press Toro Maduro. It's a natural San Andres wrapper. It's a double binder cigar. It's grade 8 tobacco that I got. When we rolled the cigar 2 years ago, the tobacco was already 3 years old. So I got a hold of a special batch over here with Aranosa, and I had to beg to get it. They didn't want to sell it to me. And I was telling my boy back then, Rene, he was in charge of selling me tobacco back then. I said, bro, come on, bro, you got to hook me up. You got to go talk to Cubano. I said, dude, let me go talk to him. What does he like drinking? He likes whiskey. So I got him a whiskey bottle, went over there. Come on, bro, you got to hook me up, man. This is for my brand, it's not for a client. He's like, no. And I'm like, come on, look what I got for you here, bro. So I gave him a whiskey bottle, right? ¿Tú trajiste eso? Yes, I did. I got it for you, bro. Okay, ¿qué quieres? What do you want? I said, I want that 3-year-old tobacco you got there. So I bought enough tobacco to make my Segovias cigars, bro. And so this is what I'm smoking right now. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the semi box press. How is that? Is it just the mold, or is it you take it out? I mean, how it's not something a lot of people talk about. The semi box press, soft box press, trunk press. How do you get that on there?
Well, if you look from on the back side, on the bottom, it's square, it's flat.
Yeah.
And then if you turn around this way, it starts going like a roundabout, like a circle.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what we call semi. So it's not full box press, but it's semi box press because it's round from top and square from the press from the bottom. See that? So that's what we call it, a semi box press Toro. It's
now, how are you achieving that? Yeah. How are you achieving the semi box press?
We have a system that we use here, right? And some factories use the same thing, right? And so basically we press, and these cigars are pressed in a special press machine we have. It's an old 100-year-old pressed wooden machine. Well, maybe not 100. Maybe I'm thinking more like 80, 85 years old. It was one of the first presses that Joya de Nicaragua had. The first factory ever opened here in Nicaragua.
Wow.
I think they've been around now over 70, 80 years, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I got a hold of that press through a friend of mine who used to work at Joya, and they tossed that machine after so long, and he got it and he kind of fixed it. And then one day I was looking to buy presses, right? And I wanted to buy wood ones. And they're like, I know this guy who has an old press. I don't know if he wants to sell it. So I went over there and talked to him. He said, look, listen, I'll sell you this one. I said, great. How much you want? I said, give me $50. I said, I'll take it. So where'd you get it from, by the way? The tobacco, the wood was like old. I had to refix it and put new wood and stuff. He said, yeah, this is an old press machine from Joya de Nicaragua when they first opened the factory.
So on
And
on a
said,
semi
"Wow,
box
this
press,
is
you,
cool."
so do you not rotate the cigars? I guess on a semi box press like you would certain like a regular Parejo. Sometimes they'll roll them in or turn them in
No,
the presses. So you don't do that at
no.
all.
If we do that, if we do that, it will become a complete box press,
The box press, yeah.
front and back,
Okay.
side to side. Yeah. Right. Yes.
So I know one thing what I was going to ask you, and you brought it up when you said, when you were getting that tobacco, it was for you and not for any clients. How many other people are you making? You don't have to say their names if you don't want to, but how many other companies are you guys making cigars for?
Well, I could say their names.
Oh, okay.
We got some cigars coming out for Jake Wyatt. We're about to drop that we made for him. We made some cigars for Hiram and Solomon. They're going to be releasing them next year. Both of them are. We're still making some of the Casa 1910s. We got some of the. We did the SP 1014 silver for Sanj Patel.
Yep,
Oh,
I
okay,
remember.
that's right,
Yeah, I remember you gave me
yeah,
that cigar.
That's a
silver
great
one,
cigar.
Yeah. I like out of the three cigars I made for him, I like the most the Robusto. I think those are cool. In the Toro, it's a good cigar. The Churchill, I'm not a big Churchill guy, but
Yeah,
the
same
Toro
here.
and the Robusto, I love those cigars. So that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I made the Phosphor for Jeff Limitadas. I made some cigars undisclosed for Luciano. Well, when he was cool over here, What else did I make cigars for? And we got some other clients coming in, and once we sign the contract officially, then I'll say their names.
All right.
Then, yeah.
How do you I talk to a lot of factory owners and everybody has like different I don't know their own rules or guidelines about when people come in to a factory like I want you to make me cigars. Do you have some factories are like if you don't have a social media presence or if you don't have a website don't even come talk to me
X amount you got to make every year.
yeah X amount yeah.
So this is what I learned. When I opened the factory, I was very excited and happy. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna make cigars for whoever wants to make cigars. But then I realized that that's not the way it works. And then I had to bump them just through some heads. You got these little brands out there, and I mean by little, they don't own a factory and they don't have a big presence online. Back then, but some of these smaller brands who just have a dream. They want to make a cigar, put their labels, say, "Hey, I'm the man," right?
Yeah.
I was trying to fulfill those guys back then, trying to help them out. Because when I started, nobody helped me out like that,
Yeah.
But what I learned is these guys didn't realize the value that we get to bring to them, and they didn't want to respect not just the traditions of making cigars, but they don't want to respect the factory. They didn't want to respect, when we, for example, get in a phone call, we start talking about how much it's going to cost or whatever. We give them the price of the cigar, and we tell them, listen, you got to pay for taxes, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that, you got to find an importer, you need to have a tobacco license for them to transfer you the cigars once they get them, and you got to do all that, and this is going to be our price. So then they get excited, yeah, let's do it. And one of the mistakes I made at the beginning was I didn't sign a contract with them. Now all of a sudden, they call me screaming at me saying, hey, this importer charged me this for this. I thought it was already included on the cigar. I said, bro, where are you going to buy a premium cigar for a very cost-efficient price with taxes and shipping included? So you're crazy, bro. This is not a real, then you're not a real brand. You got to learn how to do this the right way. So those are the things that I had to learn through, right? So then now, after I started making more cigars, I started getting more picky with people, bro, because I didn't want to waste no more time. I'm not in this business to make a quick dollar, bro. As you see back there, my cigar's been there for almost 2 years. Well, next week's going to be 2 years. They've been there, and I haven't made any money. I don't care about making money.
Right. Yeah.
some people ask me, why are you surviving? Well, I got other businesses to take care of that, you know? I'm not in this business for money. I'm not in this business, to be famous. I was already famous. I was a music artist, bro, signed with a major record label. I was out there performing, bro. I was opening for major acts back then when I was young, 25
Yeah.
years ago. Right? I seen it all. I said, I'm in this business because I'm going to stay in this business for a long time till I die. I'm going to create a legacy, not just for me, but for my future kids, for my future grandkids, and so on. I love this, what Fuentes are doing with their story and the JC Newmans. That's what I'm in. That's why I'm in this business. Because that's what I want to see accomplished. So I'm not. So if you want to buy cigars from me, and you're gonna pull a fast one on me, right? For a quick buck. Now I think about it twice, bro. I don't make the same mistake anymore I did it in the beginning when I started. You know, I get guys over here coming, hey, I'm a brand, but okay, but I could only pay you 80 cents a stick for a premium cigar. 80 cents.
80 cents.
Let me think about it. All right. I'll tell you what, go make some more money. When you get money, then you come talk to me. And the other thing about me is that I'm very passionate the way I sell people the cigars. So when for example, I'll give you guys an example. There's this potential brand, young guy, he's a nurse, and registered nurse, and he's all about his business, right? But he's very passionate about cigars, and he's been following me for a long time now. And all the time he asks me, hey, can you help me out? Can you help me out? So because I didn't help him out on time, he went to Dominican Republic, hooked up with this small company out there, factory, and they ended up selling him cigars at $4, $3.75. His margins were all messed up. He didn't have any money, and so they put him in the burner, but he didn't know how to get out of it. And me, I'm very passionate in what I do. So when I get young people like that in the business, or young entrepreneurs who want to become something in this business, I like to go way more than just a cigar. Anybody could sell cigars, but you got to teach them a passion. You got to guide them. You got to hold them by their hand. And so when I get these guys, I say, look, listen, what's your your investment? How much money do you have to invest in your project? Well, I got this much. I said, all right, even if I give you the cigar at this price, you're still going to need marketing money. You're still going to need to pay your excise taxes. Now you got to pay 18% tariff, right? You got to get good boxes. Let me ask you a question. How many blends and bitolas do you want? No, I just want one. I said, no retailer is going to put you with one box. So what I do is I school them, and I do it for free. So all the years and experience that I have learned, and all the money it cost me to be where I'm at and learn what I got right now, I do it if they become my clients for free. Because what's the goal of Tabacalera Segovias? I want them to become successful. If they become successful, they sell a lot of cigars. I make a lot of cigars for them.
Right.
So that's my new model, right? So these young dudes, they want to come make cigars. First of all, if you want to make a cigar with me, you got to come to Esteli. You got to sit with me for the next 2 weeks, and we got to blend tobacco, and you got to learn every leaf of tobacco from Nicaragua, from A to Z. And I'm going to school you on it, and I'm going to test you on it. Okay, what's a ligero? What does a ligero do? What does a viso? What does a viso do? What is a seco? What's a binder? Why is it a binder a big difference from a wrapper? You know what I mean? So they got to come and experience that, because when these young guys go back to the real world, they got to be able to share the experience and what they learned. So that way they could have credibility. And so if these people don't do that, I don't make their cigars. I don't want to waste time.
And there's not, I don't want to say there's not a lot, but there's not a lot of factories that will give you, a new person, especially nowadays. Like, everybody wants to get into the cigar industry. Everybody wants to make a cigar. There aren't a lot of companies that will take that time and do all that. They're like, oh, you want a cigar? We'll do it by email. We'll send you some samples. You pick them out, whatever. I had a company reach out to me, sent me some cigars. and I don't know the name of the company. I still don't because I haven't heard anything back from them. But it was a newer company. They sent me some cigars and asked me my opinion of them, and I told them, I go, man, these aren't good. Like the construction's not good. And then we got to talking, and find out his price point was going to be $18 a cigar.
Oh wow!
And I go, you're a
so
boutique, but and then I'm like, how can you justify that price as a new boutique? And he goes, well, when you keystone it, I paid like $5.50 a piece. So I'm like, you paid $5.50, and I go, oh my god, it's just
and they're not
like
good.
And then the cigars suck.
And then the cigar sucked, and I'm like, oh my god, no wonder you got to sell them for $18, and you're still not going to make any money, So, but yeah, there are so many companies that just, oh, you want a cigar? I'll make you a cigar. Here it is, and we'll put like you said, we'll put your name on the band, and some guys, that I don't even know how many come into the business and go out of the business the first year, and I guess all they have to show for it is they got a couple thousand cigars, so that's what they got. What's going on, Ish?
Hey, Ish, what's going on,
What
buddy?
up, Ish? What's up, my boy?
Art, earlier when you were talking about the lawsuit, you said you were very passionate. You were taking, basically standing up for the boutique cigars, like really, like
That's why I did
it. Taking a stand, and your passion now that you have, and you just shared with us about the folks who are working with you and wanting to make cigars with you, taking them under your wing and giving them advice and really trying to cultivate them. I got to ask you, what was it that passion that you seen a disconnect with some of the criticisms that you had about the Boutique Cigar Association?
Good question, brother.
Because I hear that passion, I see that passion. I read the link. So I mean, there seems to be some sort of a disconnect between what was sold, promised, and what you are looking at an established moral compass that won't waver, and just said, okay, enough's enough. Here's what I have to say about this.
Yeah. 1 second. Hello, Reina, stay afuera.
He's calling his lawyer to see if he can answer that question.
Hello. Hold on, calling the lawyer. Hello. Santiago. Deje entrar a Doña Reina. Dígale que estoy en una junta que me espere.
I think he just said, Santiago, go visit El Viajante. And if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine. It's just that I just, that passion that you're talking about and how you're building up, especially with your fight with the lawsuit and everything else. Like, I was just curious. I mean, that you seem like a very rooted man in your beliefs, your values, and that moral compass. Which I admire, by the way.
I hate the bullshit these guys had to pull us through, and how they bullshit us, and how it went down, and how they basically took that to a dump, man, and now there's no more BCA. It could have been an easy transaction. It could have been really good for all the boutique companies, small manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
They had the name. The name was there. Boutique Cigar Association, man. They were starting to earn respect. But, they went out and they started doing their thing, and they showed their real character, bro. And that's what happened there. And I seen it coming, and I separated myself from them. When I first got sold on that, I was excited. I was giving him a lot of ideas. I worked with him. I was one of the first people he contacted when he was going to create BCA, before he even started the corporation and the trademark and all the bullshit, when he was making cigars over there on the other side of, right next to us, our neighbors, right? Because we're down the street from Honduras, 2 hours. And I believed in his passion, what he was trying to do. But then he had a backstory behind it, and he was trying to do something else. So that I don't respect. I don't respect that. I don't respect what he did, what he went down. And I think that a lot of people made a stand to what happened. And so
Yeah.
because of it, one second, sorry about that. Hello, Doña Reina. Man, this lady, man. It's my accountant. She was supposed to come.
Take that call.
She was
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to come and she's late.
Yeah, you always take that when I could be in the middle of working on a car. My accountant calls me. I'm like, hey, I need 5. You know, it's never good ever if it's during the workday. You know, if it's after hours, yeah, who knows what it could be. You know, it could just be bullshitting. You know, like, hey, what's this? But yeah, if it's during the day, look, yeah.
So, anyways, I was excited about BCA, man. I was really putting a lot of love and passion into it, just like I make my cigars. I mean, I promote the shit out of it. I did a lot of great marketing for these guys. And then I started seeing things going away. People wasn't getting paid. They were not, how do you call it? Reporting where the funds were going to. And everything went down when we started asking us for $5,000 for these boots that never show any love. Never show any love. So I went up to Cafe and I said, hey, Cafe, why is it that other people are getting trophies and awards when they don't even have a boot inside the boot? And we did twice. We supported, we backed it up. Why is it that we didn't get at least a plaque that says, hey, man, congratulations, you were at the BCA Pavilion or some bullshit?
Right.
But they started giving these awards to these other people out there that have nothing to do with the pavilion, bro, or even participated in the conference and the meetings. None of that. And then, I said, all right, I see what's going on. All the customers were going one direction and not to us. I had my boot. I picked my boot right in the front or somewhere around there, and they put me all the way in the back. Why is that? When supposedly I paid for that boot in the front. And so those are the things that turned me off, bro.
Yeah. I shared your passion because I don't know if you knew this, but I was part of those early conversations with the BCA as well.
Mm-hmm.
The very, very early inception. And was part of the BCA very early on for several years. And to your point, and like you, really believed in the passion and the mission statement for the Boutique Cigar Association. I do appreciate your view. I agree with your assessment as well. I was part of it, and then I wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
The BCA. But I do think that at one point there was a purpose and a mission statement that really was there to benefit all boutique companies. Now, whether that was accurate or true or just a mirage, I really can't say. But I know at one point there was something there that I know I strongly believed in.
Yeah, and everybody's seen it, not just me or you or Kevin, but they lost most of the most important members. They took off because they seen it. It wasn't about helping a whole boutique association. It was more about, let me see what I can get out of it, type of deal.
Well, it became, I mean, at least from my, I can't even say from my objective. I mean, it was very true. It became like a good old boys club. If you were part of this little clique, then you got all the benefits. And hey, listen, Stevie Wonder can see that shit. So at some point, my grandmother used to say, you could cover shit with dirt, but the smell still remains.
Still remains. That's right, man. So that's basically what happened.
As someone, so I was at the first 2 PCAs that had the pavilion, and I was disappointed in the size. Well, not the size. The size of the pavilion was a large size pavilion, but there weren't any booths in it. I mean, very few. Why was it a cost? I can't imagine it being a cost thing, because that was the purpose of the pavilion, is to make it very low cost. Everybody's booths were about the same size. why was nobody showing up? It just seemed like for as big as the BCA claimed, all these members, like like 6, maybe 8,
Yeah.
showed up, and it was like it was barren. You could walk through and there was nobody there. Do you have any
Exactly.
knowledge of why, like nobody was showing up?
Well, you mean as a participant in the booth,
Yeah.
or people showing up?
No, like in the pavilion, as in a boutique, brand owners. Like there was nobody showing up. There weren't that
Was
many.
participated in it because
A lot of people-
I remember Kevin told me, and I heard from a lot of people, there was a lot of
Yeah.
space, but a
Mhm.
lot of empty space.
Because a lot of people at the end, they backed up and didn't pay, and they didn't want to be part of what was going on, and I don't blame them, bro. But because I'm a loyal guy, and I like to keep it real with my people, I'll support, and I supported it, and I spent $5,000 out of my pocket, plus traveling, plus hotel, plus rental car, plus cigars. I did everything right to become successful that night, and unfortunately, that wasn't like that. You know, when you invest $5,000, I expect for you and you to invest the same. But then,
Yeah.
word to come that the people who created that, they didn't invest $5,000. It was a free book for them. That pissed me off even more. I said, wait a minute. So we all spend money for these guys, and they didn't get to spend money for them. I said that there's something wrong here. I mean, at least they should have disclosed it. Listen, guys, if we get 10 brand owners to buy a boot, we get ours for free. Then I'll make a decision if I want to be part of it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you start finding shit like that, I'm like, okay, that's not right. That's not right.
Art,
You
were
know.
you part of the Boutique Cigar Association event that their first one in Indiana?
I didn't go to that one. I was out here making cigars. I couldn't go to that one. I remember that.
Right.
I
Do
didn't
you
make
think
it out.
that do you think they should have continued doing something like that, or and not roll in with the PCA, or do you think that the joining the PCA with the pavilion was the right move, just executed incorrectly, or
I think
or executed selfishly?
look. I think the pavilion. See, when we got the booth, they promised us they were going to put us right in the front,
Right.
and once we paid, they put us all the way in the back. You follow? So we got misled twice. Number one. Number two, I think the pavilion is a great thing for small brands, people who don't own a factory, people who are just getting started. They want to release their 1 or 2 bitolas. You know, I think it's a great thing for them if we give them the right opportunity. In this case, no, they didn't have the right opportunity. They spent money, they got disappointed, and they didn't want to come back. And so, if BCA would have done things correctly, and if they would have done things the way where everybody will benefit, I think by today it will be a great association, and it was on its way to become very successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, PCA has their own event. Well, BCA has their own event now. All boutiques. See, it was major what happened, bro. But their biggest fall was having brand owners and the board directors guiding things the way they want to for their own brands.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it was very evident, and pulling the strings in the background. I mean, 100%. But I do. I mean, I did. I mean, I thought that the pavilion was a good idea, but when Kevin and I were on a show last week, Monday, last week, just fucking 4 days ago, I still, when it comes to boutique cigars, in order to get recognized nationally, I think holding those regional boutique cigar association events, I think would have been better off than rolling into a PCA pavilion.
That's right. And so I remember at my second year, I went up to them, to the 2 leaders of the BCA. I said, listen, guys, I'm still going to be a member. I'll participate in everything you guys are doing as far as, you know, phone calls or meetings or whatever. But next year, I'm not going to participate at the pavilion. I'm sorry. I'm a cigar factory. I've been around for a long time now, and I think I could create my own booth, like I did in 2019, and I got best
Mhm.
booth of small boutiques with
Oh, right on.
PCA. Yeah, you guys didn't know that?
No,
No.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
What? I don't believe you.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't at the PCA. Back then, and I was still kind of new into this industry at that point. I only been into it for a few years. So,
Right.
but yeah, no, I didn't know. I did not know that. But yeah, I mean, you said
Mhm.
earlier, about when you got started and Nick Melillo and Steve Saka, and next
We all
year's our
started the
10th.
same year.
Yeah, next year's our 10th anniversary, so
Oh,
for
beautiful,
Cigar
bro.
Prop, it was just, I look back and it's just like, it's kind of cool, like we all started kind of at the same time, and you
Yeah.
guys are way better than I am. So you guys are way, I'm like, I could be there. I should be a Saka. I should be a Melillo. I should be a Garcia. but I am not,
But you're a cigar prop.
I'm a cigar prop. I'm probably as famous as Steve Saka, maybe a little less.
You are the
you know?
best cigar prop that there is, Kevin. Don't sell yourself
Yeah.
short. You're
Bro,
a
let me
tremendous
tell you
slouch.
something. I think you got one of the baddest studios out there, bro. You went all in, dude. Cigar humidor, cigar lounge style. You know what I mean? Studio style. I mean, I give you all the props, bro. I told you that when I went to your studio.
Yeah, I
said,
appreciate that. We've never made any money at doing this. We've always put it back in. You know how that is. It's same as factory.
Yeah.
You don't make any money. You just put it back into the factory, put it back into tobacco. I put it back into my studio and my lounge.
Look at this, guys. That was me.
Oh, right on.
It was Best in Show 2019, my booth.
Man, it seems like seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? 2019. It's
dang.
that's pre-COVID. We didn't even know about COVID back then, Art.
That was my booth back then with Antigua Esteli.
That's awesome. You're gonna be at PCA this year, 2026?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Nice.
I wasn't there last year, but this year.
Yeah, I
it's gonna
know,
be a
yeah.
game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get with Kerr and I are going and doing interviews again, so we'll have to.
Dude,
we'll have to
absolutely, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, we
So
had a great time.
To close the BCA situation here, if they ever want to sell the actual trademark, we can negotiate and I'll buy it from them.
Well, good luck with that. Because
It ain't gonna happen, but
the guy you're
you know
gonna
what I mean?
the guy you're gonna
I don't think they'll
negotiate
sell it.
with.
Yeah.
Pivoting to
But-
something really, I think is more important. I think and more impactful is the message you had sent me regarding the U.S. government announcing the future 15% tariffs for some Nicaraguan goods are in place, but no longer cigars. So when you sent me that message, I was really excited to chat with you about that.
So
tariff.
yesterday was a very tense day for us. I mean, we were stressed. We didn't know what was going to happen. Skip at his factory, me and my factory, we're communicating with each other and other people. And I even prayed, man. I said, God, listen, man, you got to help me out here and help the rest of the industry. Because that could be the end of our business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's business here. And I said, look, I invested so much time, so much, money, so much passion. I sacrifice a lot here in this industry. I said, this could destroy my business. Seriously, it could destroy my business. And so yesterday we got popped the good news, man. We're still in CAFTA. I mean, you got to understand what was going to happen here in Nicaragua, bro. Nicaragua is backed up by the cigar industry here, and majority of the sales employs thousands of people in Nicaragua because of cigars.
Yeah.
If CAFTA was to happen and they would take it away from Nicaragua, it's kind of like putting an embargo like in Cuba. And then if you want to sell cigars, we were going to get hit with a 100% invoice. So if the cigar was $2 or $1.75 or $1.50, we got to pay $1.50 per stick plus excise taxes on top of that.
Wow.
So $1.50 stick is now $4
Plus taxes,
plus taxes,
import taxes. Yeah.
which
And
you're probably
so-
looking at what, close to $4.50.
That's right. And so it was going to destroy a lot of factories here. A lot of factories were going to shut down because of that.
Yeah, that a lot of people don't realize that, you know, and whether you agree with Trump and the tariffs or not, that, to your point, Art, the impact and the ripple effect that it has in some of these countries are ridiculously huge.
Yeah, and not just it wasn't just going to impact us here in Nicaragua. It was going to impact in the
Oh, yeah.
states, retailers, employees. You having they're probably going to have to let go a lot of people because majority of the sales now is over 60% in the Nicaraguan cigars.
Yeah, yeah.
60-70% they sell Nicaraguan cigars. So can you imagine if they're going to stop buying Nicaraguan cigars because they can't afford them?
Yeah.
So, are there any tariffs on that are impacting Nicaraguan cigars?
It's structured on year 1, year 2, year 3, 15% year 1. I think it goes up another 10% on top of that, and another 10% on top of that. But then if you have if you're a free zone here in Nicaragua, it could help you because the CAFTA will kick in, and you know what I mean. So it's it's a little difficult for me to explain it, but at the end of the day, we're still at 18% tariffs, which is not
Okay,
bad.
so
I'm not going to complain about 18%.
right. So those who increase their prices of their cigars to make accommodations or to adjust for those increases, it's still justified. It's just that nuclear bomb basically that would have completely devastated the Nicaraguan cigar community is no longer
Right.
of concern.
So
So
right now we're still at 18%, correct?
Yeah.
So
18.
Okay.
what was there any tariff before 18%?
No.
Okay, so there was zero. Okay, that
Zero.
I wasn't sure of. I never
Yeah.
looked and see if there was any, if it was
No.
1%, 2%. So it was zero. So it went to
Right.
18. It's going to stay at 18 and it can't go up.
No,
Yes. No, it is going to go up.
it's
Every
gonna
year it's
go
going
up
to go 10%.
every year.
10% for 3 years.
Oh, so it is going to go. Okay, so it is. Okay,
It's
so
gonna
I
go
was a
up.
little confused about that. So after 3 years, what's the tariff going to be?
So basically,
But
here,
so flat line at 38. If
Is
it's
that what it
18
was?
right now? Well, if it's at 18 right now, 28, 38. Well, depends on-
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was 10 each year. I thought it was. Wasn't a little okay.
let's see here. So basically, I wrote it down. So the government is implementing the phase of tariff increase only on non-CAFTA DR Nicaraguan goods, starting at 0% in 2026. Then it's going to go up 10% for 2027 and 15% for 2028 if you're a non-CAFTA Nicaraguan product.
Okay,
Right.
but you're CAFTA, so you're safe.
Right, we're safe. So under the
Right.
rules or origin of CAFTA, which premium hand rolls do, they are exempt.
Okay,
so you're
it's
not going to go up.
So it's
So
locked
in
at
simpler
18.
terms,
Yeah.
the 18% Trump era tariff is still in place today, but that applies across all imports and it's already baked into current pricing structures. The new tariffs do not affect cigars, and every source says extremely unlikely cigars will be targeted in the future. The USTR recognized the economic impact cigars have in both countries and deliberately avoided harming the sector. So basically, we had, maybe 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 cigar aficionados send emails, send letters to the government saying, hey, don't take away Nicaraguan cigars from us. Pretty pissed off people backing us up. So I want to say thank you and thanks to all the people in the industry and cigar aficionados who smoke cigars from Nicaragua. Thanks to them, we're still standing because they backed us up.
Yeah. So Kevin, basically what they're saying is that if the 18% remains, it remains, right?
It remains.
In 2026, it's 0%. 2027, it's that's with a
10%.
10%, and then in 2028 is 15%. So come
15%.
2028, some of the goods could be tariffed, could be 33%.
Something like that. Yeah.
2028.
Yeah, unless they're the CAFTA products, and then that doesn't get included. So
Right.
all right. So is all Nicaraguan? You talked about like the free zone. So is all Nicaragua cigars in
No.
CAFTA? Okay. So
No.
there are some factories that will
They're
be
not.
affected greater.
Right, later, yes. Like me,
Okay.
for example, I could be affected later because I'm not a free zone yet. But this year we're gonna apply for a free zone.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited, man. So yesterday it was an exciting day, but it was a sad day for my family. My brother-in-law's father passed away yesterday here in Esteli.
I'm sorry
Oh
to hear
no.
that.
And so, we did the funeral all night. So I'm kind of sleepy a little bit because, I was there till maybe 6, 7 in the morning at the funeral home with them. And then I was the guy providing the cigars to everyone not to go to sleep. And at the end, I'm the one who knocked out on the couch. So, and you see me, I'm wearing black today because we just came back from the burial. And so, so it was a good day, but it was a sad day for the family. But we're
Yeah.
good. He's
Our
strong, man.
deepest sympathies and prayers to you
I
and your
appreciate it,
Yeah,
family.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
not to pivot off that and sound insensitive, but how with the cigars not being not falling underneath that category. What about boxes? What about wood?
That's a good question. But they're still in the umbrella under cigars.
Oh, they are? Okay, I was going to ask you because I know wood
Yeah.
is not.
I mean,
exempt,
I want to think so.
but
I might want to ask Skip that question because I didn't think about that. That's a good question.
because
Yeah.
I was wondering because when you're talking about what exempt with cigars, et cetera, but wood is not. So
Yeah.
is there going to be? And I know with weight, et cetera, how are you? Does it since it is being put in a wooden box? Is it still going to be covered under the cigar exemption, or
No,
is it going
it
to?
still is. No, you mean if we put the cigars in the box, you're not wearing a bundle. Same thing. Still cigars, still going to be.
Okay, just want to make
still
sure
gonna
because
be
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know wood doesn't fall under that umbrella. Coming
Yeah,
out
no,
of
I don't think
Nicaragua.
it really matters, bro. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. But yeah.
Okay.
But let me tell you guys something, man. China's kicking ass right now, as far as cigar rings and cigar boxes, man. These guys are making some beautiful stuff out there.
Beautiful. I said I've seen some beautiful bands, and I've reached out to a few brand owners, and sent me some cigars. I'm like, bro, this band is beautiful. Like who's doing your bands? I always like to keep that in mind when I see a beautiful cigar band. Like just keep that, and then everybody's the same thing. China.
China. And then the equipment these people have over there, bro, is just crazy. I mean, I would go to, cigar rings here in Esteli, and they wanted to charge me 30, 40, 50 cents a cigar ring. And I'm over here in China, and they're charging me 7 to 9 cents a ring for the same quality, same powder, same embossing. I'm like, God damn.
Can't
But,
compete.
so
with
you
that.
guys know,
Fucking crazy,
Nicaragua
isn't it?
right now is full of Chinese people here. So this is like little China now here in Nicaragua.
Is it really getting that way?
Oh yeah, bro. It's funny because there used to be about 3 Chinese restaurants in Managua, and now there's maybe about 50 of them, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole China Belt and Road project. They're expanding everywhere. Especially in the cigars into Africa. I know South America. I didn't know too much in Central America. It was
So bro. And Esteli, real estate is going up because of the Chinese. They're taking over every property here. There is no bullshit. You
sure.
can ask anybody in Nicaragua. There's more than 30 Chinese stores here in Esteli.
Wow.
Now is it so I know it like I said, Africa, South America. They're making the inroads for, wherever these precious minerals they're mining, and that's what they're after, but in Esteli,
Yeah.
is it just the cigars? I mean, I've never looked at
No.
like anything else. If Esteli has any precious like mining or anything like that, you only hear about cigars in Nicaragua.
Well, there's
You
a
know,
lot.
is that-
There's
is-
a lot. There's a lot of gold. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
mining here. There's a
Is
lot
it?
of
Okay.
minerals here. Yeah. But
Okay.
But what's cool about it for us as a cigar factory here is that we don't have to pay taxes on anything. So we buy the stuff over there. They ship it tax free.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. See, Chinese here, they don't pay no taxes, nothing. They're exempt. 100%.
Don't you remember, Kevin? We talked about the major exports in Nicaragua was, we kind of chuckled, just not cigars, but it was gold. And
That's right. We did talk about that.
it
Gold
was
coffee.
gold, and it was
Yeah.
apparel. It was apparel.
Yeah.
Shirts, clothing,
Coffee, tobacco, gold,
coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
minerals. It's hot right now, bro. It's a hot commodity. A lot of the meat from Nicaragua.
We
goes to
talked
the
about meat
States.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
The
And
Nicaraguan
great steaks,
beef.
organic.
Yeah.
What is the average Nicaraguan person think of a Chinese food when they go eat it for the first time? I mean,
Hey,
is
man,
it popular?
It's popular now, bro. Because where I live across the street, there's a badass Chinese restaurant cooked by Chinese people. And so, I always make fun of this. Back in California, I said I hate going to a Chinese restaurant and we got my brother Mexicans cooking the Chinese food. It's not real Chinese, man. It's like me going to a taco shop, a Mexican restaurant, and we got chinos cooking carne asada tacos, bro. You know what I mean? So no, but over here they got all these Chinese cooking real Chinese food, bro, and it's amazing. I'm like, God damn, man. I always tell my girl, let's go eat some Chinese food.
We've got one Chinese restaurant here in town, really good. You go in there and everybody's Chinese. They're always yelling. You can't understand them. And then we've got the other places, and which are decent, but that's filled with Mexicans. Not Mexicans know how to cook.
Hey,
I
that's me right
love
there,
my
brother.
but
All
when
good.
it's like,
You're good.
but when you go in there, the food is different. It's just different when it's just same thing. When I go to our favorite Mexican place, we love it. It's always busy, and there are no white people working there. No, I'm not.
Every culture makes their product with passion.
Yeah.
When
Our
the Chinese
favorite-
cook, they cook good.
Our favorite Mexican restaurant when we lived in the next town over was such a small place, tiny, and they had the best Mexican food. And my favorite was the beef cheek, tacos, tortillas. It's the
You haven't been in my house. I got to cook
well,
for you guys.
well, I would love that, but I mean, it's like to Kevin's point. It's like there's Taco Bell, there's
Oh, that's not Mexican,
Pop-
bro. That's
Papa's
a
and
copy
beers,
of
I know.
Tex-Mex.
Papa's and beers, and then when you walk into a place, you're like, there's a reason why this tastes better.
Jessica,
Every time
no, go ahead.
Every time people mention Taco Bell, I imagine Speedy Gonzalez, the cartoon guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Running
Whenever,
That's funny.
that's it. Whenever I make Jessica mad, like during the week, and she's irritated at me, like Friday night, usually we go out to a restaurant, and I know to take her to our favorite Mexican place. They've got like this shrimp dish. It's like La Cucarachas or something. I don't even remember the name because it's like cockroaches, but it's the shrimp. They're like with the shell on, with the head still on. They're in like the sauce with all these vegetables, and she just sits there for like an hour. There's like 50 or 60 of them, and she's just all happy and humming to herself and eating and dipping, and she's
There
just
you go.
she's just a
You know how to make
new
her
woman.
happy.
I know how to make with that one dish, like the whole week, just goes
You're like,
down.
honey, by the way, you're like, we're gonna go eat Mexican food.
Yeah, that's it.
But let me piss you off first. Let me piss you off first.
Yeah. I try not to make her mad for a day or two after that. Sometimes it's hard. It gets
Hey,
difficult.
guilty as charged. Me too, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how it is. So let me ask you guys a question. Kerr, what's going on with your brand, bro? How's that going?
It's going well. Going into 2026, I've done a number of our core brands were the barber pole brands, but I'm looking to go outside of barber poles. So, listen, barber poles are a passion of mine, and as well as Lanceros, but they don't hit the market very well. So,
Oh wait, let me show you guys something real quick.
please do. But going back to Art's question, one of the things that we're doing is looking. I think we really got some great feedback when we did the deconstructed cigars, where it was not the barber pole, it was just a singular wrapper. So, we're looking at blends of a no, oh gosh, am I looking at that box?
He's going to bring you a barber pole.
I think so. I don't think this is.
These are my Lanceros.
Oh, Lanceros. Oh, jeez.
It's a new
Art,
cigar. It's not in the market yet.
Art,
Nobody has
12,
seen it.
Art, 12 Tilden Court, Simpsonville,
Yeah.
South Carolina. Oh, sweet Jesus. Look at those. They're gorgeous. Oh, my God. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, that is
I love
beautiful.
these Lanceros, bro.
Oh,
Right
I
after dinner.
I love Lanceros. I do. But as I
Coming
was
soon.
saying, oh, I cannot wait.
So speaking of that Lancero, Art, what
I
steps do you?
wasn't done, Kat.
Oh,
You're killing
okay.
me
Go,
there,
go,
buddy.
go,
Art
go
came
ahead.
back. What I was saying is, Art, what we did was for our barber poles, we did something we called the deconstructed barber pole, where we did the same
Right.
filler and binder in a Corona size. But we had one of the wrappers was like for the Sandela. We have a San
Right.
Andres Candela wrapper. This is San Andres. Then we had another cigar, same wrapper filler same filler binder, but we had the wrapper was the Candela, and we realized that there was a huge, I think, a little bit more of a trajectory towards certain blends that were not barber pole, and they really liked. Hey, I love this San Andreas cigar from the Sandela line. So we're looking at doing more of a non-barber pole line cigars in 2026. That's his accountant.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you make your cigars at?
We make them at down in actually in Nicaragua at Tabacalera Nueva Nica. It's Chris Weber. Tabacalero Nueva Nica.
Is he still in business?
He is. He is. I last time I talked to Chris, we were chatting. I think he's gone from Nicaragua maybe across the border because some of these tariffs were a little bit more challenging at the time. But yeah, that's where we're making our cigars.
Whose
Whoa,
motorcycle
oh my God,
was that you, Kerr, or was that
Streets
Art?
in the road,
that
man.
wasn't
It ain't
me.
mine.
Okay. So,
So whenever,
Art,
whenever you want to switch gears, bro, I'll make some good cigars for you.
Gracias.
I got you, Kerr. Come on, bro.
Gracias.
So
Those Lanceros look good.
Look, listen. This factory here used to be Chris Weber's.
Okay.
what? Really?
Yep. I bought the building. Let me see if I could show you guys. This used to be Chris right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nuevo Nica. He had the
Tabacalera
walls
Nueva
painted
Nica,
with the baseball.
Yeah.
He had a baseball fields here.
Yeah.
I took that off, all that stuff. So I used to be here, and I Chris is a good character, man. He's a cool guy from Hawaii. I remember he was going through some issues
Yeah.
plenty of times over here. and I gave him some advice, and but I thought he was out of the game. I don't think he was making cigars here anymore.
No, I with our cigars, these cigars here were made at that factory. I know that he had a transition either somewhere in Nicaragua or in Costa Rica.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you don't have any more if you don't have any
since
more
that,
Nicaraguan cigars, I'll make them for you.
oh well, I appreciate that. So since
I
that
got you,
move,
bro.
so since that move, we haven't made anything new, but that is for 2026. That is the vision for
Come
our
to me,
company.
baby. Come to me.
Nice. I will
We
have
can
to
make
give
you
you
a
a call,
good
man.
cigar, bro. I think you know that, Kevin. We can make him a good cigar.
That's it.
Oh, I've had your cigars. Are they delicious, man?
Thank
And
you,
they'll
bro.
give a good price, $5.25. No.
525.
18% more. No, but those
That is
your
what's all about, man. Brother
your
love,
land
man. I got
your
you.
Yeah.
your Lanceros look delicious. They do. I'm a Lance.
They
I,
are. So,
Kevin's
my
not a
Lanceros,
Lancero guy. I'm a huge Lancero fan.
don't ask me how I made it happen, but I ended up putting them 2 binders in there.
What?
I've got 2 questions because I
Yeah.
wrote this question down an hour ago when
A
you had
question per
mentioned it.
binder?
Double binder, and then that lead into the Lancero. What's the is the purpose of a double binder? Is it just for flavor? Is it always the same binder and just double, or do some
No,
people use
we mix them
different?
around. Different blends.
Okay, you
different
do.
binders. Yeah.
Okay, no, so no
Right.
on different blends, different binders. But if you're using a double binder, is it always the same binder on that particular cigar, or are you
Well,
using?
if it's a blend that I make with that blend, yeah, it's always going to be the same. But all my cigars have different binders.
So what is the point of a double binder?
Double the flavor, bro.
Okay.
The binder is very important in the construction of a cigar.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Can
Art,
you imagine if 1 binder is good? Can you imagine 2 binders?
Yeah.
Do you find that 2 binders, because one thing you hear from a lot of folks are they use a binder that is non-influential in the flavor, because you hear that a lot. We have over the years. Do you find that a double binder, obviously with flavor, do you find that it adds more stability to the construction of the cigar?
Yes. So I do it for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is flavor. So whenever you have a cigar with a double binder, it's considered a super premium cigar because it's more expensive to make. So, for example, my cost of my cigars is over $1.60. Over $1.60 to make because I add more tobacco into it. Con la tarjeta. En a little.
Okay.
See?
So have you ever experimented and made a cigar sandwich? So say you're using let's say Connecticut broadleaf binder over a Mexican San Andreas wrapper. Have you ever done it like a double binder, but a Mexican San Andreas, Connecticut broadleaf, and then a Mexican San Andreas wrapper? So you got essentially 2 Mexican San Andreas.
But I tell you,
Connecticut in the middle.
A couple of years ago, we had so most of my tobacco from Arenosa, from the cuts, from the 2 different cuts that we use when we make the cigar, we have enough tobacco, so we had a few bales of we call it picadura tobacco. So they were just piling up, and I had what happened to Kerr? He took off on us.
I see him down below. He had to take his headphones off. He must have got a call or something. His son's in town.
Oh, nice. So what happened here is that a couple of years ago, I had enough picadura of the scratch tobacco we had left. So I told my guy, I said, you know what, let's make some picadura cigars, just to check it out, right? Let me tell you something, bro. I added 1 binder, a good binder. So, for example, for the Maduro wrapper, we used a jalapa binder, which gives you the sweetness. And for the Ecuadorian wrapper, we used the Mexican San Andres binder with the picadura. Now, this picadura is from grade A tobacco, right? So, anyways, when we make the cigar, we age it for 90 days. I gotta tell you, I smoked a few of those cigars, man. They were great cigars. I'm like, holy shit, man, these are good, bro. So I ended up selling them. I sold them for $1. People loved them. We made 10,000 of them, and I got rid of them in maybe in less than a month. They were gone
Oh wow.
because they were that good.
Oh, just
But I
sold them
don't
for
make people do it all
$2.
the time. I only do it when I have enough tobacco and I just want to, make cigars so I can sell for cheap. Hey, welcome
Yeah,
back. Kerr.
yeah, that's tough to make those cigars, consistently,
So-
because they're always changing.
Segovias.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're back. Oh, I think yeah. They're always changing, and sometimes you get some that are fantastic, and then sometimes not so much. So, they're tough. I want to ask you about your Lancero. What do you do? And you don't have to give trade secrets, to ensure that your Lancero's good. Like you get so many that are locked up. I see. I
It's
don't
a construction art. He wants to know how do you make it so
Yeah.
it's not smoking a cigar through a coffee straw.
Yeah, it's
Right.
is it aging? Is it just making sure a select pair are only rolling it? Are
Yes,
there
not
some-
anybody can make Lanceros.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
anybody can make Lanceros. Just like torpedoes. Not anybody can make torpedoes. You know what I mean? Or not anybody can make Salomon cigars.
All right.
So they have to be people who've been doing this for a long time now. Do they have the hand, the training, right? So I'm fortunate enough to have all my rollers and blenders. They've been making cigars for over 10 years, and they work with great companies, great factories behind where they got trained when they got taught. I mean, I got people that've been doing it 30 years here, bro. And so those are the people that do I call them my specialty cigars, Lanceros, torpedoes. And then what we do is, especially this Lancero with a double binder, it's really hard to make because it's so tiny. It's a 38 size.
I was gonna
That's
say,
what
how-
the rain
how-
gauge
how-
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there like one leaf in there? With a double binder and a wrapper.
So
That's
it's three. So on my Lanceros, 3 Visos, 2 binders.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So look, it's 7:42 p.m. and we're still working at the factory, bro. We're not playing.
no.
We're making things happen.
And that's your skeleton crew.
Yeah. So
My
when you
production
get
manager, my tobacco manager.
when you come up with like a new cigar, a new blend, and you blend it and you're happy with it, and you give it to the rollers. Is there a learning curve? Like are you testing? Because it's obviously the first time they're rolling it on a mass production scale.
Right.
Are you coming in a lot more often, trying the cigars, making sure? Are you
Right.
just trusting
I
that they
spoke-
know the blend and then
No.
you just let them have at it?
I don't trust nobody. I have to be there. So what happened? Well, when we start a blend, we don't just make a cigar off the first, second try or the third try. What we do is we blend several cigars, and then we let them age. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, all the way up to 90 days, because we want to let them sit. So if I make a cigar in 1 week, it's not going to taste the same in 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So you will never determine the real flavor of the cigar if the tobacco is not dry enough. So when we make a blend, we let it sit and we let it roll for at least 90 days. And in that period of time, we're smoking to see where we're at. Then after the 90 days, we'll be able to determine which blend we want to use for whatever blend we're making. And that's how I do all my cigars with everybody.
You say that, there are so many times we've had people on the show, and I've never really said anything, and I've never said anything. And even outside the show, I'll get people that will say, I went down to Nicaragua. I spent a week, we spent, 5 days, down at the factory every day, rolling cigars, testing blends. And I came home that week with my blend. And I always thought the same thing. It's like, man, what if that changes? Because those flavors are going to marry after
Right.
a couple of
90 days.
weeks, a couple of months,
Yeah.
90 days.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and what if they don't marry right? You know,
Right.
it's and I imagine that does that happen? You know, like after like 90 days, you're like, oh man, after this cigar
Yeah.
sits, it's
That one's south.
like something happened.
That
I
one's
mean,
south.
I made blends that the first 2 weeks I love the blends, and then I wait 90 days, and I don't like them anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? I like, oh, the
Yeah.
tobacco's too hard. But the way we test it is we grab each leaf before we roll it, and we smoke it. Well, you know, it all depends on tobacco too. You know, there's a lot of factories here that they'll make you a great cigar with the best tobacco, but then when they start the blend, they'll put some fucked up tobacco in there, and they'll change the
Yeah.
whole blend.
Yeah. I've
And I
had that
learned that.
happen early
And
on.
unfortunately, some of my little Cuban buddies do that over here.
All
Right?
right.
And they tell me, you're stupid. Why you spraying, you know, tobacco? And, you know, I said, bro, you got to do things the right way. You can't be messing around, man. It's like
I've
one of my clients, they order 100,000 cigars, and I priced them. This is going to cost this much for the tobacco. Boom, boom, boom. I'll buy the tobacco at Aranosa. Boom, boom, boom. So, make the story short, they ended up shifting prices on me, and Aranosa went up. So that put me in a deficit of $30,000. And who do you think had to eat up the 30,000?
Nah.
I already gave him a price. I signed a contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't back it up.
Right.
So I had to eat it. You know what I mean? So we got to do things sometimes to make the customer happy.
Yeah.
But when you get somebody who tells you they make a cigar in a week, they're full of shit, man. I mean, a real cigar maker will tell you that's not the way you make cigars. You got to take your time, bro.
yeah.
Just like Fuentes says, never rush the
Yeah.
hands of times.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that till I owned my factory. I didn't know what that meant till I started my own factory.
Yeah, you know, I and this is going back probably 5, 6, 7 years ago now. You know, I talked with one a brand owner that had looked at a factory, and they were getting some pricing on cigars, and he was told, okay, so on your first run of 10,000 cigars, it's going to be this price. Your second run, it's going to go down a little bit. Third run, it's going to go down a little bit. And he'd ask, why is it going to go down a little bit? He goes, well, because your first run, you put all the grade A tobacco in there. The second run, we swap it out for a little bit less quality. The customer's not going to know the difference. The third run, we swap it out even more, and they'll never know the difference. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, and that was the first time I'd ever heard that before. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder
What-
how often that happens.
What's fucked up is that, I mean, is pardon my language, but what's crazy is at least they told them what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were honest.
they were honest. I had that happen to me very early on, prior to Chris. You know,
Right.
my experience with Chris, solid. Prior to Chris, was the hook. Here's your stogies. Here's your cigars. Quality tobacco, outstanding.
Yeah.
Second batch, outstanding. Third batch, hey, what the hell? This is a little bit different. Fourth
Yeah.
batch, I don't know about this. Fifth batch, send them back. This is bullshit. This is disgusting.
wow.
This is not my cigar.
Oh man, sorry to hear that, bro.
I had a full shipment of, I don't know what it was, 2,000 cigars, because it was an in between order, where it arrived and it was made with moldy tobacco.
Holy shit, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
I,
bro.
I opened up a cigar, smoked it, and almost threw up. And as I was cutting open bundles,
Yeah.
and I had on my dinner table a stack of cigars that were out of the cellophane, several cut open. Jennifer, my wife, came home. Well, as soon as she walked through the door, she started gagging. She goes, "What's moldy?" and ran to the window to get fresh air.
Oh man.
My whole shipment, and I have pictures. I opened it up. There was mold all throughout the filler, the binder, everything.
You know, and that's what happened with some clients. I had some clients that came to sit with me. I said, look, this cigar is gonna cost this much if you want it this way. Oh, that's too expensive. Or I said, expensive? Well, what are you expecting? I said, I was expecting to pay $1. I said, I can't sell you a premium cigar for $1, man. It
Yeah.
costs me $1.50, $1.60 to make. So, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else. Go ahead. So I had this customer came. He said I was too expensive, but he loved my cigars. So he went somewhere else. Somewhere else, they had 40 couples in their factory. They look big and oh my God, they went for the raw, right? 4 months later, they come back to me and say, all right, you gotta help me. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, listen, I bought $50,000 worth of cigars from this guy and they were all fucked up. Excuse my
Yeah.
French.
Yeah.
So what you mean?
Oui.
I said, look, the tobacco was not what they were supposed to do, and I can't sell these cigars. These are like almost picadura. Like they put the long filler, but they put all broken long filler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't the whole leaf.
Yeah.
It kind of it was like half picadura, half leaf,
Yeah.
basically, right? I said, look, listen, bro. I learned something from very on, and I said, listen, when you're a cheap guy and you're gonna want to buy cheap things, you're gonna expect to get cheap product. When you go somewhere solid, who's not gonna fuck you, screw you, it's gonna cost you a little more, but it's gonna be worth every penny,
Mm-hmm.
right? The minute you put it on the retail, a fucked up cigar, then you're gonna lose that customer, and they're never gonna buy cigars from you again.
And you can't afford that as a boutique brand. You
You
don't have
can't.
the luxury of saying, La Gloria Cubana. You may have a run. You're like, I smoked the La Gloria Cubana. It burned a little wonky. It was a little bad. They can always recover from that. When you're a
Right.
boutique brand and it's like, hey, I want you to try this brand new cigar. This is
Yeah.
this is Trash Panda cigar. They're new. They're out of Florida. Kevin's a great guy. If that's jacked up, they'll never go back and give it a try again. You don't
Never.
have
You know,
that name and that reputation.
And the one thing that people don't realize, some of these brand owners, you ruin it for a lot of other boutiques, because
Fuck
if you're
yeah,
if you're
do.
if you're a Fuente smoker, a JC Newman smoker, a Saka smoker, and you go into a lounge and the guy convinces you, he's like, hey, this is my buddy Kevin. He's a boutique, he makes a great cigar, and you're like, okay, I'll buy it, and then it sucks. That guy's not going to buy another boutique because he's going to remember. He goes,
done.
hey, he's like, remember that last time you fucked me? I spent $12 on that cigar and it sucked. No, give me my regular. I'm not going to smoke another boutique. Now there are, there's not a lot of people like that, but there are people that will, So
It does though.
If you're putting out a cheap product just to make money, you're hurting the industry. You're hurting your fellow boutique cigar makers.
I told you that
That's
happened
right,
to me
brother.
here. I went to a shop and I said, hey, I'm a local, I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. We have a pretty decent presence here locally. I went to the shop, I'm like, we're a local brand. I don't do locals anymore. Not ever since XYZ. I won't mention their name.
Right.
But Kevin, you and I did laugh at their display at the PCA.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, no, they came in here, touting that they're a local brand, and it's fucking horrible.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, I'm not them. Smoke my cigars. Oh, yeah, they're great cigars. Okay, great. Well, then bring them in. No, I can't do that because that brand ruined it for any other local brand or any other smaller brand.
Or any other boutiques. That's
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
so that's what we're trying to change next year. If you're a brand out there and if you're serious about, going full force with your company and you have a dream of becoming a cigar brand, not a cigar maker, just a brand. You'll become a maker when you own your own factory. That's when you consider a maker. But
Yep.
when you're a brand, you're just a marketing brand selling cigars. You want to make sure that you have a good product so you'll be able to compete, because we have to compete harder than the big guys. We have to compete for retail space. We have to compete for timing, for them to say, okay, we'll give you a shot. But if we mess that up, we can mess it up for other people as well. And that's not cool. And that's kind of what happened with BCA, by the way, with the boutique stuff. So, anyways, for brands out there, if you guys, whoever wants to make a brand and they're serious about making a brand, hit me up. I'm one of the crazy Chicano gringos here in Italy that I'm willing to work with people who are serious people and people who are not cheapskates. They're gonna come over here trying to buy a cigar from me for $1. It ain't gonna happen. We're not. That was 15, 20 years ago. Times changed. Tobacco's changed. It's a whole different level now. You know, back then we used to buy tobacco at $5 a pound, $6 a pound. Now we're buying tobacco at 11, $12 a pound
Wow.
just for wrapper.
Yeah.
San Andres right now, it's $42 a pound for a good wrapper.
Yeah. Ain't
For
cheap.
Ecuadorian Habano, I just bought 2 barrels of a 21-inch leaf of Habano Ecuador Oscuro. I paid $32 a pound, and that's in the hookup homie price.
What's a Connecticut broadleaf going for?
Well, it's even more.
Yeah, I tell you, they've been having an issue. I know with supply for
Yeah.
5 years now.
I use Ecuadorian Connecticut, but it's expensive, bro. Now imagine if you want to go with Arapiraca, with Brazilian, with Cameroon. Look at Cameroon wrapper. They
Oh
wanna
yeah.
sell wrapper for $60 a pound, bro.
See, I'm not a Cameroon fan. The juice isn't worth the squeeze for me. For my palate personally.
So you know, when people say, "Can you make me a cigar for cheap?" We can. And then you have the locals here, you know, or the local gringos. They come and they want to buy cigars from me that you already made. The other day, I had a Chinese guy come, and he bought 300 cigars from me. He said he wants to take cigars to China, but he came with the mentality of buying cigars from me at 90 cents. When he left my factory, he bought cigars from me for $2 a stick, right? And I said to him, listen, don't waste my time. If you want to really make cigars, I'll work with you if you pay a fair price.
Mm-hmm.
He just ordered 50,000 cigars from me for $2.50
Wow, 50,000, man.
Wow.
because he loved my product. He said he smoked, him and his partners, from 5 different factories around here. I'm not going to mention names. And some are some from guys who have Americans behind them, and some are Cubans, and some are locals. And they make cigars for other people out there right now in the industry. And they picked me. Why? Because I was direct and straightforward to them from the beginning. I don't like messing around with people, man, because time is money. And I'm not going to put a cigar out there with my name all messed up. Because if I make you a cigar and the cigars suck, guess whose name's on it?
Yeah.
Yours. Yeah.
Hey, when SP 1014 Silver came out, it was a good cigar. Too bad I'm not going to work with him anymore because he's a whole different character. But it was a great freaking cigar. I mean, I still got some left. I smoked myself because they're so good.
That's a fantastic cigar, Art. I was up there
Thank you, brother.
visiting because Jennifer's from my wife's from Northern Jersey. So we would go up and visit family. We'd go up to Sanja's shop and we bought a box. And it's a fantastic cigar.
Which one did you get, the Robusto or the Toro?
Toro.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm a Toro fan. I love Robustos, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I really don't have. I mean, outside of Lanceros, you know, I love all the Vitolas, but Lanceros I am more lean towards.
And that cigar is one of my blends. I blended that cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I had it sitting down for over 90 days before we actually made it a cigar. And because I learned the process from the good people, bro. I have a lot of great mentors over here, bro. So you got to work hard, man. Let me tell you something, bro. This business cost me 2 relationships, 2 marriages.
Yeah.
Done. This business, I lost so many family and friends who passed away, and I wasn't there for them back at home. This business could be a tough business. You know, last year, they tried to break me, bro. Some shit happened in my personal life and in my business that another cigar maker that I trusted at that time, he disrespected me, my honor, my integrity, and because of that, I got divorced. But that I didn't let that break me. Matter of fact, when I went to your studio, that's when I found out all that bullshit that was going on.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, wow.
But I survived.
It's all
Yeah.
it's all about
And I
art.
pulled through.
Feel free to name names, but I mean,
Yeah,
outside of that,
yeah. No, yeah.
I had to throw Kevin in.
But you know what? I don't give a
Hey.
shit. Fuck Felix Mesa, El Galan Cigars.
Oh,
Oh, that's
calm
tough.
down.
Piece of shit. That piece of shit has some bullshit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because of him, I got divorced. That's all I gotta say. This business could break you.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fuck all that. My passion is for cigars, and I'm in this business because I love what I do. And I was just talking to my father the other day, and he says, "You know what, son? You could be making so much fucking money somewhere else." I graduated from a good university. I have a master's degree in business. I'm very successful. Universal Music. I was a music artist, signed to a major label, and then I started working for Universal Latin, and I was making good money. Um, so last year, it was last year. I got a call from the president of Universal. They wanted me to go back and work with them because I'm good at what I do, and I'm a radio and marketing guy. I develop new artists, take them from zero to the top 10 in Billboard, and they offered me 250 grand to go work for them. But they said you got to come back to LA. I said, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This business could make you or it could break you, but it's all here, and it's all here.
It's passion.
It's passion, bro.
It is.
So
I know.
you know what I
I
mean.
fell. I fell in love with the cigar, and I mean, I fell in
Yeah.
love with the music, the food, the people,
Yeah.
the leaf, the tobacco, the camaraderie, the friendship. I mean, Kevin,
Yeah.
and Art. I mean, I asked Kevin as Art. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about some of your closest friends now
Yeah.
in your life as an adult, how did you meet them? And
I got a
Cigars.
close friends. I know
and
for over 20 years.
I look at my top 5 closest friends and I'm like, cigar. It's all cigar related. Kevin's one
We
of
all
my
smoke
closest.
cigars.
Kevin's one of my closest best friends. I mean, we do a
There
show
you go.
together, but I mean, I love him to death. I do, and I met Kevin through the cigar industry.
Yeah.
And I have met a lot of great people in the cigar industry. People that have true hearts, true passion. They live by integrity and honor. And I met some scandalous people like that guy I just mentioned, and other people who are crooks, man. I've seen it all in this business. But at the
But
end
you
of the day,
really
we can't let that stop us from succeeding and from winning
no.
in life. And
Plus,
we
you
got to
get to
keep moving forward.
plus when you get to sit down and talk to someone in a cigar lounge, you really kind of all the
Yeah.
other bullshit is stripped away. You
Yeah.
talk about family, and that's really when you get to know folks.
Yeah. You remember
Yeah.
this, guys. Failure is success turned inside out. I'm a
I
big
like
reader, by
that.
the way. I read a lot of books. And I think we talked about that when I was with you at your studio. Something that kept me going since I was 15 years old. I read my first book. It was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I just finished reading it again because I
Yeah.
always get new stuff out of that book, right? So sometimes I ask myself, I said, Art, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, dude, like, I could be making money in real estate back at home. Like, I own rental properties over there. And I wish I could have more rental properties. So, what are you doing stuck in a little town? What are you doing here in Esteli? I'm like, fuck. So then what I do is I go in my humidor, grab a stick, sit down, and I'm like, this is why I'm doing this. That's why I'm here, because of this. And so there's no when I got my plane ticket for this what I'm doing now, I bought it without a return ticket. It's a
No
one
shit.
time ticket.
All right.
So I'm in it to win it, brothers. I'm in it to win it. I'm in here to succeed. I know that my cigars are not in retail stores like I want to. I know I'm not in Cigar Aficionado magazine. I know I don't have bunch of ads in magazines, and I'm doing it the old school way, the real way, the right way, and I'm taking my time. But
And
2026 is going to be the year.
that's great. And that's really what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
there's so many variations of success in this industry based off of what gets one motivated. And the one thing that really is the most important is passion.
That's
You
right.
know, there's some folks like you said. It's like, hey, my name's on a cigar. I got my own cigar, and they want to pride themselves of having their own name on a cigar. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
that's it. What really motivates you? Do you love the industry? Do you love tobacco? Do you love being able to look at a leaf and smoking it and learning more about its journey from the
Yeah.
moment it's been seeded to the moment it's been pulled and aged? And when you find that there's more people like that, and you connect with folks like that, you find that you have more commonality than you do differences.
Absolutely. Hey, Kevin, you're not smoking a cigar, bro.
I just finished my cigar, and I know we're at the 2 hour mark, so I think it's time to wrap it up. I probably
Oh,
could have. I probably
nice. Two
could have.
hours now? Holy shit.
It's been
Yeah.
2 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes. I probably could have lit up another cigar and got another hour, but
Oh,
it's getting
man.
late.
Kevin will get in trouble, Art. That's the problem. Kevin
Yeah,
will get in
yeah,
trouble.
that's it. So if anybody is seriously thinking about getting into the business, in the video show notes down below, or the podcast description, if you're listening to this, is Art's social media links,
That's right.
as well as his Facebook, his website. So get in touch with Art. You've obviously listened to him. You know what the kind of clientele he wants to work with. So if you think you're that person and you have that passion, reach out to him and start that process and get some blends going.
Hey, I like to keep it real. I like to have fun doing it at the same time. But I'm here to make real cigars, man. I'm here to help people. Kerr, Kevin, if you guys want some of my cigars, I'll take care of you guys, no problem. You need 1,000, 2,000, I'll make them for you, bro. To me, it's nothing. You know what I mean? So we can make that happen. But at the end of the day, I want to say that I am really appreciative, and I want to thank you guys for having me at your show, and also for being a friend, because we've been friends now for a while. And so I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate and I value each one of you guys. And I know you guys are out there hustling, working hard. Kerr, you got your brand. Kevin, do you still have your brand too? I know you were making cigars with my boy from Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I've got Artista over Ram. So
That's right.
so
man. I
he's
love that guy, bro. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
yeah. So we got that. We got our 10th anniversary cigar coming out next year. We're still not
Fantastic cigars,
that'll be coming out of Honduras. So we're not. I'm not telling anybody a little bit about that brand, that blend yet. So, but when I want another one, I'm going to reach out to you, Art. We try and do at least we want to do at least one other brand next year. And you kind of mentioned
Nicaragua, brother.
you kind of mentioned something that you're already done that I've been looking to have done. So I'll reach. We'll talk about that.
Man, I got you, bro.
So everybody, thank you for coming on, spending a couple hours of your
Thank you,
Wednesday
Art.
night. So I did check. We had more viewers tonight. I didn't know. I forgot it was Thursday. Rocky Mountain Cigar Show is on. Steve Saka was on with Ryan Miller. We had more people watching
Steve?
Art. Yeah, we had more people watching Art than they had watching Steve Saka. So
I didn't want to
says
say
a lot.
that, Kevin. I saw the same thing. I was
Steve,
going to
man.
mention it afterwards, but you want to make it up now. Go ahead.
Steve, if you're in Esteli, call me, bro. We gotta hook up, man. Come visit me at the factory, brother.
He's either there now, or he'll be there in just a day or two.
Hit me up, bro. I love Steve, man. He's a crazy dude, man. I love that guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. We'll see you. We'll see y'all back next week.
Hey, man. Peace out.
Take care, everybody.